The $1,000,000 question: how do entrepreneurs transition from self-employed to owning a business that turns a profit? My name is Chris Waters, and this podcast has the $1,000,000 answer. Welcome to CEO Secrets. Hey guys, it's Chris Waters of CEO Secrets. I'm joined with a special guest today, John Berkowitz. The number of awards this guy has picked up just in the last 12 to 24 months is pretty mind-boggling. John is the founder of OJO Labs. They were ranked number 49 out of 5,000 of the fastest growing privately held companies in America. You can check that out on the Inc. 5000 list just published over the past month or two. John also picked up Entrepreneur of the Year in 2021, last year in 2020, Deloitte Technology Fast 500, Inc. Best in Business, Inc. Best in Workplaces. John, I can go down the rabbit hole here, man. You sold your first company you started called Yodle for north of $300 million. Now you're back in, I guess you're in the real estate world, trying to take over the real estate world. You've raised north of $100 million in the real estate world since you started OJO Labs in 2015. John, welcome to the show, man. I'm excited to have you on.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me.
So, man, I gotta ask. So I'm in the industry, and I'm just like at a distance looking at what you guys are doing, and I'm trying to put the pieces together. And I'm like, what is the strategy? Like, what are you guys doing? You bought Moboto, which is kind of a quasi Zillow. You bought Dig, the financial application. I'm kind of like, okay, are they trying to own the customer journey? How are you guys making money? Who's your customer? I'm like, man, I'm so lost. You got to help. Tell me, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, I love it. First, let me say, I'm going to now have you announce me like I'm coming into a ring for the rest of my life. I feel like I'm ready to go box now.
Yes.
That was good. Yeah, I mean, look, from the outside, I definitely can see like how you guys are assembling these things. What is it? It's actually not that complicated. What we're building at OJO, we describe it as an end-to-end platform that serves all parts of the home journey. That doesn't sound that unique. That sounds like what everybody else in this space is talking about. I think our unique approach to the problem is recognizing that there are tens of thousands of different versions of consumer journeys that happen every single year, and lots of unique cohorts and special circumstances that need to be fulfilled across the real estate journey. And at OJO, what we're trying to do is serve what we internally call 100 out of 100. For every 100 people that show up to our front door, we need to help 100 of them navigate the home journey. And when you look at the world in that way and you say, I'm really trying to fulfill everybody's needs, what you end up realizing is the best solution to do that is a marketplace solution, rather than every single thing built in-house, or the opposite, every single thing partnered. What we've built is a product and platform that delivers all of the necessary solutions for you as a consumer to navigate the home journey. And we've done it through build, buy, partner, assembled a guided marketplace that takes you from dreaming about the home to deeply asking questions with digital technology, to meeting an incredible real estate agent, to getting the right mortgage solution, and then to managing the home. The goal here is you show up to our platform and we can with confidence tell you, you will get a higher chance of success on this platform than any other platform in the industry. And I think where you called out, we bought Movoto, we bought Digs, we bought WolfNet, we bought Real Savvy. We've invented and patented a digital advisor. We've partnered with Realogy and Keller Williams and these different companies, right? And I think it's that portfolio approach to problem solving that's made this unique, where I can look at you and say, as a consumer, it is more likely that you will be successful here than any other platform, because I'm really working hard to figure out what does Chris need, what does John need, and then match you to the right solution at the right time. Really taking a kind of a marketplace approach to it. To answer your main question, how do we make money? generally where we can fully on the success of the consumer journey. So big shape of dollars in the business is consumer comes into Movoto or OJO.ca or OJO, the digital advisor. At some point in the journey, we realize you need to meet a great real estate agent, and we're going to connect you to Chris. We are a referral brokerage in that point. If I connect you to an agent of Movoto, we are the broker, and we monetize either based on a referral fee or a full commission fee. Mortgage will connect you to mortgage lenders and will be paid there. If I connect you to an iBuyer, we'll be paid there on a referral. And so we're really kind of monetizing the connection to the solution that meets for the consumer. My customer, because we're a marketplace, is as much the real estate agent as it is the consumer. But if you put a gun to my head and say, who do I have to choose? I choose the consumer, because I'm no value to anybody if the consumers aren't trusting us on the platform.
Do you see all these companies you acquired going underneath one brand? Like, for example,
yeah, it's a little bit of, we have a very senior CMO. You know, she was 2 away from Bezos at Amazon. She's has a strong opinion, as you could imagine, on what she refers to now as brand salad. And so, yes, it's in the next 12 months, we'll consolidate all of the brands under one so that the consumer experience is a lot more clear. We've done like subtle, it's Movoto by OJO, it's OJO Digital Advisor, it's Digs by OJO, but it's coming all under one more clear consumer experience.
I noticed on your shirt you have St. Lucia.
Yeah.
And I think it's my understanding you have a call center down there.
Yeah. Yeah, we have 400 full-time employees on the island of St. Lucia, in an absolute just incredible operation. 36,000 square foot facility, you know, fiber wired in, special backup generators. It looks more like a, you know, Austin, Texas tech office than you would picture foreign call center facility.
Yeah.
3 jobs when we're cooking food for the employees. They're kicking my butt in ping pong when I go down there, really kicking my butt. They're very good at ping pong. You know, it's an incredible environment. There's 3 jobs there. We do the typical kind of meet a consumer when they fill out a lead form, figure out what they need, call center job.
Yep.
Then we have a concierge role, which is after you've been connected to a loan officer or an agent. We're going to just provide a consistent touch point from OJO for the agent and the consumer to make sure everybody's working well together throughout the process. And then we have what we call AI trainers, which label data for our machine learning algorithms real time so that the automation of OJO can happen in a seamless way for a consumer.
Who do you get paid more from, mortgage or brokerage?
Right now, real estate. It'll, and that's more of just focus. Over time, we're getting licensed as a mortgage company. We have 4 states now. I've taken more FBI fingerprinting than I enjoy. I'll get some more today. We have 20 licenses out. I think we've had 10x growth in mortgage revenue from January to today this year. But still making more in real estate. But you'll see that kind of reach equilibrium in the next kind of 12 months.
So my understanding is St. Lucia, there's some currency arbitrage there. And I heard down the grapevine, you got some incentives through the country itself to bring your business there.
Yeah.
And then if I'm not mistaken, I think I heard you had a group in St. Lucia before, right? Was that you?
Yeah. It's super interesting. We, at my last company, Yodle, which did online marketing for small businesses, had a 175 person team in St. Lucia that would cold call US small businesses and real estate agents, plumbers, and sell them online marketing. And cost, that's an island with something like near 40% unemployment. And so the cost of labor is much lower, given it's a Caribbean island with high unemployment, but the intelligence, work ethic, and skills are incredible. These were people competing with, Austin, Texas salespeople, guys that you and me would hire in Austin, and apples to apples, they were almost as good, within 10% at scale, at really hard jobs. We then sold Yodle, and our acquiring company made a pretty big mistake and shut that center down and then moved those jobs to Canada. It was like a bad math synergy calculation, like actually like spreadsheet mistakes. Yeah. Really big mistake for several reasons. Anyway, they shut that center down. The Prime Minister, who knew that we had built this incredible culture and had this really great brand reputation with all these employees, called us right as we were starting OJO and said, hey, your old company just shut down the center. Can you hire them at your new one? And me and my co-founder were like, well, we have 9 employees now, so it's going to be hard to be a big employer. That being said, we are trying to solve a really hard problem, real-time training of AI. We need jobs. If you help us jumpstart it, if you give us the facility and you give us some labor incentives, yeah, we'll hire because we're going to need it. And the Prime Minister made a super, super intelligent decision, said, tell me what you need. Now we don't get any more money from the government, and we are one of the bigger employers on the island. And so it really was a genius move by him to jumpstart a startup crazy enough to hire hundreds of people in a foreign country before they had 20 in the US.
That's great. Hey man, that's great. Awesome. Strategic thinking on your part. Just something I'm kind of curious of, just more on the entertainment side of things. You started Yodle with Ben Rubenstein.
I did.
I think I met you. We didn't really talk a whole lot, but I met you the first time 2 years ago at the Super Bowl party. Ben.
Yeah. At Ben's house.
Yep, at his house. I thought that was the funniest shit I'd ever been a part of, because you guys were betting on everything. Like, who would win the coin toss? $20. Who wins the first touchdown? Who gets the ball thrown? I was like, man, the
competitive spirit has been in Ben and Mai's DNA. We started Yodle together as 21-year-olds, and we would compete when it was just me and him. That company eventually had 1,500 employees and 200 million in revenue, but in the beginning, when it was just him and I, we would compete like psychopaths at selling dentists and plumbers head to head, betting on everything. And then we've entered real estate.
So here's what I'm curious about from an entertainment perspective. So you started OJO in 2015. I think Ben started
Opcity.
Opcity in 2015, and in a very short time period, he sold that for $200 million to Realtor.com.
Yep.
You've been working on something now, and I feel like it hasn't even truly gone to the market yet.
Yep.
Like you've been baking the cake for the last 5-6 years, and he was able to build it up and sell. What's that competitive environment look like between you two guys now?
Yeah. 2 things. One, there's a little bit of bias here. I was a big investor in Opcity, and Ben's a big investor in OJO. So we are just above friendship, pretty supportive of each other's successful outcomes. Look, I think if Ben could do it again, he would have liked to keep Opcity independent. Sometimes it was a nice success, but we're entrepreneurs. We want to build big things, right? I have been obsessed from the very beginning of this company on controlling its destiny and selling it on my own timeline, or taking it public on my own timeline, and ensuring that we never had our back against a wall. And so we've raised a lot of money. We've done all of these different things so that we could build a really big company. And now, you're right on one hand. Some of the problems we were trying to solve, kind of like nurturing consumers with digital advisors, getting some of these products patented, couple years to build the technology for the sales center to be all integrated. But now, last month, we have accelerated Movoto to have 35 million people coming to it. You got hundreds of thousands of people engaging on the platform. And so it's like bamboo. Bamboo takes 3 years to grow 6 inches.
Yeah.
And then it grows 6 inches a day. That's really where we are now, if you see it. And so it was really, it's just a different game plan versus kind of scale quick, but then have to sell early versus really deep scaling, control your own destiny, and build a monster business.
So the mission statement of Zillow is to build a marketplace for real estate. And that's a relatively new mission statement they created.
I want to see them do it.
Yeah. Do you view them as a competitor?
Look, I'm an entrepreneur. And so the answer is, the right answer is, I don't have any competition. I don't see anything like us.
But obviously,
in reality, anybody that is attempting to meet a consumer in the beginning of their home journey and then hold on to them to serve them is a very serious competitor. Therefore, Zillow's a competitor for me for sure. So, and I think, like, Zillow, we're all very lucky that Zillow did not act upon what should have been, I believe, their approach from the beginning, given the backgrounds that they all had from travel marketplaces. They should have been running a marketplace really effectively from the beginning. If they did, we wouldn't have a right to exist. But I think we're on the right track now. We'll see if they can move to it quick enough.
So you guys are kind of like Instagram, trying to catch up to Facebook, and Zillow's kind of like Facebook. What do you do to? Can I call them
MySpace? Is that okay?
Yeah, there you go. Hey, there it is. Yeah. So you guys
all respect to the Zillow team there.
No, I love it, man. I love it. So what is it you guys are going to do to overtake the behemoth? What's that strategy look like?
The way I think about it is, I'm not trying to go beat Zillow or Realtor at top of the funnel traffic acquisition. I'm trying to beat them, but hold on. I'm not trying to beat them by
bullshit right there. Come on.
No, but listen, I'm not trying to beat them by just having more people show up to my website. Where I'm trying to beat them is higher throughput. Because what I want to be able to tell you is, factually, with deep evidence, if your mom's going to go buy a house, she should come to our site over every other site, because the chance of success for her is orders of magnitude higher. And every investment I've been doing over the last 5 years has been in service of that, increasing throughput and delivery upon whatever unique expectation that consumer has. And as we do that, you're going to see a pretty aggressive flywheel start to whip, which we're starting to see. And so I might never, I actually will declare this. I don't think we will ever be number one on Google. But that doesn't mean we can't be a bigger company by having higher success of consumers on our platform.
So one of the keys to that success is something Ben figured out at OpCity, which is how to identify the right partners to give the opportunities to.
100%.
What does that look like for you guys? What are the KPIs you're tracking and the people you give opportunities to?
Yeah, and look, we have 20,000 highly vetted real estate agents on the platform. We run machine learning algorithms and real marketplace dynamics to figure out, all right, we know Chris is a phenomenal real estate agent. The question is, how many introductions have we given to Chris over what period of time to know Chris could be the best agent in the world, but if he has 20 buyers in the market right now and hasn't scaled a team underneath them, Chris isn't the right agent for our consumer at this time, right? And so we're looking at consumer feedback on Chris, and we're looking at Chris's feedback on the consumer, because in a marketplace, you don't think it's just about choosing the right agent. The right game to solve here is the right consumer at the right time meets the right solution. I believe everything broken in our industry is the opposite. It is essentially right or wrong consumer meets the right or wrong solution at the right or wrong time. That's everything that's broken, right? That's a marketplace problem. So I have to opine as much around what's the right consumer for you, who do you want to serve, what areas, what price points, as much as look at the easy data that we all look at. What's your close rate if we introduce you to a consumer? What's your showing homes rate? All of those things we opine on, and the algorithms are real time checking that and load balancing. But it's also figuring out your feedback on the consumer and what's working or not working for you for that kind of relationship to form and that to successfully navigate to success for both of you.
Yeah, makes sense. That's a hard thing to sell for because agents being commission based, they may typically sell a $500,000 home in the suburbs, but then they get a lead for somebody wanting a multi-million-dollar house, and they're not really well equipped or educated to help that consumer. But they want the deal, and they'll do whatever it takes to try to convert it.
You got it. Yeah, and look, the data over enough time and enough volume of experiences sets you free. It will tell the truth. It will show you, Chris, that's not your skill set, right? But this one is.
Yeah. You know, in the Instagram and Facebook example, Instagram took one specific product feature of Facebook, which was photos.
Yeah.
And went all in on that. And
yeah.
Got massive brand impression. And then you look at TikTok. TikTok took just the video component, crushed it, got massive brand impression. Let's say you weren't associated with OJO.
Yep.
Like, what's the one feature you could focus on that would just suck off so much traffic from these big portals like Realtor.com and Zillow?
Yeah, when you're talking about, if you had asked it different, I'll answer how you asked it, but I think you might be asking a different question. On traffic, sucking traffic out, you just have to create a better search experience. One thing that we've invested a ton in is better, what we call attribution of listings. So not just what's listed in the MLS, but using machine vision and taking keywords out of just big blocks of text and allowing you to search real estate in a way that you would do with an agent. So I'm looking for a 3-bedroom house, yes, but I want floor to ceiling windows and a view of downtown. Those things don't exist, right? Natural language search and all of the really complex things that when you go show me a home, you weren't like 3 bedrooms, 3 baths. That's like a little thing that just sits in the back of your head. What you are really doing is understanding the complexity of this consumer's needs. We've invested a lot through what we did in St. Lucia and some patents we have to really kind of go and make that search higher fidelity, more on the terms of the consumer. I think that's, we're starting to show up ranking very high in the search engines. And it's mostly because consumers are starting to come back and see something different. But that to me is, that's a nuanced consumer experience. The reality is consumers go to all of our sites still. And so I'm becoming more relevant, but I don't think I've won in that. Where I think the most unique thing I can do is there are 50 innovations in real estate, partial ownership, iBuying, offers, high-end real estate agents, low-cost real estate agents, digital mortgages, new age mortgages. There is more options right now for a consumer than there has ever been before. And that is the moment that the biggest innovation is simplification, be able to look at you and say, I'm going to understand what you need, and then I'm going to objectively find the best solution for you. And there's some things like our digital advisor that don't exist out in the wild, but that I think is less important than the ability to be able to really look at you and say, I'm going to find you the right solution at every step of this journey.
Interesting. Have you read this book?
Yes. Peter Thiel. Love it.
I read that book about 5-6 years ago. It's slightly depressing because I'm looking at the real estate space and I'm thinking to myself, National Association of Realtors, founded in 1908.
Yeah.
This business has been around for a long, long time. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't really see 10x improvement in the brokerage space. And then, something else he mentions in the book is to go to 0 to 1, you want to create a new category within the existing space. So Ibuyers did that. That's a new category. But like, what are do you see any other?
Just to be clear, I want to be super clear. I love that Chris Waters just said that iBuyers are a new category. Are they?
Right?
They just digitized what you do.
Right.
They did not create a new category. They named what you've been doing for how long? You've been in Austin, Texas, to be clear, you are the iBuyer.
Yeah.
Are you not? Right? Like there are 2 things. I think of
Yeah, I've been doing their same thing for 10 plus years. Yeah.
If we're gonna, ibuyuglyhouses.com, I believe, was the first digital iBuyer.
Yep.
And cash offers is a new age mortgage, right? Like these are just iterations on an old business.
But to that point, right? Like, so he talks in the book about bullet coffee. Coffee's been around forever, and he adds freaking butter to it to help you stay in ketosis. And now you're in the weight loss. And people have been putting butter in coffee for a long ass time. Yeah. So it's kind of, it's almost like a marketing ploy.
Exactly. And I agree with that. I think to differentiate yourself, it's good to create a category for yourself if you can. Yeah. I totally agree on it.
Man, so this is no disrespect to what you guys are doing, but I'm trying to understand on the search side. And as you guys try to control the consumer experience of the process and hooking up, consumers with the right people, like how is that significantly different or better than what like Zillow is doing, for example? And like Zillow's got predictive search based off, what you're looking at. They send you emails based off your search history. They've been building a database of the best agents to work with for the past 10 plus years now.
Yeah. Look,
I want you guys to win, by the way, just for the record.
I love it. I love the hard questions, but my approach is slightly different. And to be clear, it actually looks a lot like what Peter Thiel and them did at PayPal in the early days. You solve the problem. PayPal was they won through combining companies, buying companies, building companies, and solving unique problems. And it was brand salad, multiple brands, all of these things in the early days. Yeah. And then at the end, once they had really disrupted, they wrapped a single brand about it and exploded onto the scene. I am not in the spending time in this moment, although it's about to change, convincing you I am something different. Everything I've been doing for the last 5 years is just saying, we're very similar. There's a website where you search on. Then you fill out forms and you engage in an experience. And then at some point, some of you get through and get what you were looking for. The thing that I've been obsessing on for the last 5 years and making huge strides on is being able to look at you and say, you are more likely to succeed here than anywhere else. And we're not there yet. But the second that I have that at scale proven, then you just say that. Because why has consumers been going, every single American knows Zillow, but why do people still go to Realtor, Movoto, and Redfin? Because nobody has earned the consumer's trust that there is a great experience that will deliver all of your needs. Once you deliver that, you can wrap a nice, sexy brand about it and then put a guarantee on it, and you will totally shift the market. Today, consumers believe they have to go to all the sites for all of the properties. They have to meet all of these different solutions because there isn't a place that consistently delivers for a huge portion of the population's needs. And that has created this window. And I don't think a closed garden where everything built in one place is going to solve it. I don't think 100% just partnering is going to solve it. I think the way to solve it is exactly like PayPal solved it. Build, buy, partner to be able to deliver the complete set of solutions in one place to carve out that kind of successful journey. You do that, people don't want to bounce between a bunch of different places. They're going to go and they're going to say, yeah, like that had everything I needed and it was great. And I got the truth and transparency across the entire platform. Anytime they didn't have something, they found it for me. And I'm going to send my sister there next. That is what I fully believe is going to happen. And, you'll wrap this is the everything store of real estate around it as a consumer brand, but you have to be able to deliver on that promise. And what is factual is nobody's delivered on that promise yet. Yeah. And that's why the game hasn't been won.
Well, I don't, I hear what you're saying, mission, and I don't see, like, from my perspective, the behind the scenes, how you execute on that. But I do know you got a lot of smart people on your team. You guys raised a lot of money and you're not new to the real estate game. So I know you'll figure it out. I want to kind of go back a couple steps here just for people, the audience that's listening to this. and learn more about, things that were big failures in your past that, you had these big aha moments. For example, maybe it was at Yodle. What were some of the big costly mistakes that, cost a lot of money, cost a lot of time, that slowed you down, that now they're kind of in your memory bank? And with OJO, you're like, I'm going to make sure I don't do that again. Let's start on the people side of things.
Yeah.
What were some of your big ahas where, you failed miserably scaling up Yodle, where you were kind of like, all right, from now on, I got to do A, B, and C to make sure I find the right key leader to, for example, run some department or accomplish whatever goal?
Yeah, I think one thing that we probably didn't do at Yodle well enough was admit when people weren't able to scale to the next level, right? That company also topped the Inc. lists and grew super fast. And you're always scaling your people. And there are people that from the beginning of the company to the end of the company can just keep rising. And there's other people that it's like, nope, you've reached your sweet spot and we need to bring in an outside person. And when you don't do that, you are selling your people short and your company short.
The aha there is recognize when people have hit their ceiling and then potentially find somebody.
Find them. You have to find the sweet spot of what people are great at and what they love doing. Yeah. And everybody thinks they should just be like in constant upward momentum to some fictional point in the future. That is not it. Like at some point you find a great thing and you should do it for a long period of time. And I think sometimes in a startup that's growing fast, both employees always want to raise because they're always seeing people step up and take on new responsibilities. And as a founder, you want that too, because that's an efficient way to keep scaling your business, is keep piling stuff on Chris. But in a mature company, you want to really ensure that you're putting people in the right roles.
What would you say is, irrelative of the department or personnel related, what was the biggest mistake you made at Yodle that cost you guys the most amount of time and slowed down?
The biggest mistake is that and it's personnel related, it's business related, is that we marched to an exit. Everything we did was about getting the company sold. We filed to go public. We announced that as this entire, that was the goal. It wasn't we lost our way on, let's go change the odds for small business owners, which was sincerely where we started the company. The momentum of the company was around, let's go get a successful exit, which is never, ever the thing that you should motivate a company around. Mm-hmm. And we decided based on market conditions not to go public, and we completely lost our way. That was the single biggest mistake we made in the company's history, is motivating everybody to an exit versus chasing something bigger.
Let's go down that rabbit hole a little bit. So what was the result of focusing on the exit? Was it your people weren't bought into actually helping the customer? Was it?
Yeah, we all were running a sprint to a finish line that you could see. And when the line got moved, people were like, wait, why am I doing this again? Uh-huh. And we lost our way. And then, we had a nice successful exit, but we should have gone public then, but we should have treated the IPO just like it was a financing event to fuel the mission, which is what it was. But you get addicted when you're in a constant win environment. You get addicted to fundraises and awards and all these things, and you start doing it for those versus the awards. I feel super uncomfortable when you just shouted out all those awards, because those awards mean nothing besides good recruiting for more smart people into my company. That's the only value they are, because they are a result of proof points of us delivering this unique experience. It's why you see this growth and all this stuff I'm saying is starting to really happen, but they aren't the reason to do it. They are exhaust of doing it right. And if you chase that as the goal, that's what you're going to be. You're going to be a company with a bunch of awards, but you haven't done anything. And I think that's where you get lost.
The company OJO you're running now and Yodle, you've raised a lot of money for both of them. Have you thought about just, and I know a little bit about your past with Yodle. You guys kind of bootstrapped that in the beginning.
Yeah,
you guys were going door-to-door sales.
Yep, totally.
But if there's an entrepreneur listening to this show right now, what would you tell them if they're trying to decide, should I go raise money or should I just bootstrap this and own 100% of it? What's the advice you would give them?
Yeah. Do not raise money unless you know for a fact you need money, right? Raising money, if you don't need money, bad idea, because you're just giving up, you're giving up options and you're giving up equity in your company. You have to determine how big is the thing you're trying to build, over what time period, and what resources you're going to need. Fundraising is not something all companies need, right? Like there are really good businesses, great businesses that don't need a lot of money at all. And then there's businesses, if you're going to go and try to compete again, like I'm sitting on a show with you, defending my right to exist against a $40 billion publicly traded company.
I mean,
I need some cash
Yeah.
to play ball here. I don't get to bootstrap this.
Yeah.
I got to buy companies. I got to hire hundreds of data scientists and engineers. I got to open up foreign operations. I got to be.
Hang on. I want to pause for just a minute. All right. I want you to get in like the entrepreneurial zone right now.
Yeah.
And like, forget OJO exists. You're, and I'm just like humor me for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, close your eyes. You're a senior in college, and your professor says, I want to challenge you to start a business to compete against a multi-billion-dollar juggernaut. Let's call it Zillow. And you have limited resources except the people in your network that maybe you've got some friends in computer science and friends in marketing or whatever. Like, what is it you go do with limited resources, limited capital, all of these things? What is it you're going to go do to go compete with somebody that's a juggernaut in a multi-billion-dollar business and already has all the brand awareness and the visitors to their website? Like, what is the thing you're going to go focus on and build?
Yeah. Before you go focus, you gotta convince yourself first there is a problem that has not been solved. Otherwise, don't go try it, right? I would not today go start an e-commerce site to sell everything because I think Amazon has solved it. I don't think the world needs a competitor to Amazon.
Yeah.
So you have to convince yourself there's a real problem. And once you convince yourself there's a real problem, 100% of your energy needs to go into solving that problem. And then you say, how do I solve that problem? Is it technology? Is it unique business solutions? Is it brute force? Is it an innovative invention? You then get to that point and you start running at it. If it's technology and you're not a technologist, you need to go hire the person to begin solving that, right? And that's the steps I would take, and every entrepreneur either accidentally or intentionally takes to begin that journey.
So, I mean, to your point, your argument, there could be an argument based off what you just said, made that the real estate space is too crowded and it doesn't necessarily make sense to go try to bootstrap a business to compete.
No, I don't. I mean, the nice thing about real estate is it is very unlikely by the size of this industry that there are very many winner take all categories. That is the unique thing. So you can bootstrap a company and make a very big business. You might not go beat Zillow, but you can make a monster company, right? You just have to set what are you trying to do? If you are going to go and try to create a world changing business that is at national to start and then global scale, it's likely you're going to need to raise some money along the way.
So the thing that we both know that is very definitive is that if you're going to build a massive business in the real estate sector, you're going to have to figure out how to give it a percentage of the transaction volume, right?
Yes.
Because getting a piece of the agent's getting the agent to pay you for a subscription service or whatever, it's going to limit your addressable market and your upside on the revenue side. So, man, where I'm trying to get your head to go and your creative juices to go, which I know you've already done this exercise because obviously that's why OJO exists.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get your creative juices going for somebody listening to this podcast that, is maybe they're not in their senior year of college, but maybe they're thinking like, how do I go and compete with these billion-dollar companies? Like, what's the idea? What's the category? What's the thing I can do? You know what I mean?
It's just seek out the problem, right? And you either have to look at marketplace businesses have to obsess on the disconnect between consumers and the solutions and the service providers. Yeah. You can also build just a consumer business or just a service provider business, right? But you gotta stare at the problems. And sure. I think you should go to where, like, if you're a technologist, go find where it just doesn't make sense from a technology, inefficiencies, expensive, right? If you are, your dad's a real estate agent, go stare at your dad and say, what about his life doesn't make sense in his profession? And what can I do to solve that? Yeah. And I think that's what you have to, every business.
So I think if I'm hearing you right, you don't necessarily have an idea in your back pocket that you've been thinking about unrelated to OJO.
Oh, you want me to give an idea? Got it. I thought you were starting. If I had an idea worth giving to a senior, I got to go find a senior and fund that thing. Sorry, you want me to give a tangible idea for the senior? I misunderstood the question. Yeah, I know. I think, just to be clear, my business is built off of be really good at meeting consumers at scale, figure out what they need, and be first to market to find the thing they need. And so I'm probably the guy that doesn't want to go and tell you, this is the aha I have. Because my whole business is like identify it, build, buy, or partner that thing into existence at scale.
Yeah. Hey, let's change gears for a minute. We only have a few minutes left. What do you do for fun when you're not building OJO Labs? What are you into? Yeah. Obviously, sports and gambling. I know that.
Yeah, I unfortunately don't get as much gambling on sports with my buddies as I'd like. I spend every moment outside of OJO doing two things. A vast majority of my time goes to my 4 young sons, a 2-year-old named Christian, a 6-year-old named Sebastian, and twin 14-year-olds, Jackson and Logan. So that takes up a lot of time, and my beautiful entrepreneurial wife, Alina. So we do what families do.
4 kids, man. 4 boys.
4 boys. It's real.
And your wife, but did she go for the 4th one, hoping for a girl?
Yes. But don't tell Christian that. Look, we travel together, we build together, we shoot Nerf darts at each other, we build Minecraft together. That's what we do. And then I'm pretty passionate about a local nonprofit called CASA, which, Chris, we got to get you involved in.
Hey, you know what? I saw that on your LinkedIn, and my business partner, he was the president of CASA in Austin.
Oh, really?
My co-author of my book, Bradley Pounds, between 2010 and 2012.
Super interesting.
Yeah, and we donate to CASA every single year.
Oh, good. It's amazing. It's amazing. For me, it's a place where I can put a lot of energy and feel like I'm making a local impact. Those are the things I do. I'm not that. There's no skydiving or rocket packs or any sexy stuff. Family and trying to do my part in the community is what I do outside of OJO.
That's awesome, man. Hey, how can people connect with you? What's the best way if anybody that's listening to the show wants to reach out to you?
John at ojo.com, JOHN at ojo.com is the best way to find me.
We have a lot of people in the real estate space watching this. Are you guys bringing on partners to?
Yeah, no, we are aggressively trying to get more high qualified agents to join the OJO Select Network. That's where you come in and we connect warm referrals to you when a consumer is ready. That's the biggest. We're certainly having conversations in the mortgage space, but the number one thing we want to talk about is finding more great agents showing up to the platform and partnering with us to create a better experience for consumers.
Cool. John, it's been great, man. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. We need to get our kids together. I've got
We gotta hang out soon.
Yeah.
Probably not, betting on coin tosses.
Yeah. I have a I think I told you I have a 2-year-old, 4-year-old. I've got two.
Yeah, you said 4 or 5. Do you have a birthday that's like just coming up? When are the?
Oh, she just turned 5 2 weeks ago.
Okay, yeah. Sebastian turned 6 2 days ago, and Christian is 2 years old, and then the twins turned 14 on October 1st. So it's an expensive 17-day period in my household. 4 birthdays.
I don't know if you guys are into I don't know, horse riding and like fishing, all that kind of stuff.
Love fishing. We love fishing.
I have a ranch that's 19 miles east of downtown. It's a couple hundred acres. We go fishing, 4-wheeling, got horses. And so you guys should, there's like a little ranch house on there with a pool. Y'all should totally bring your kids over and it'd be a fun time.
I'd love that. Yeah, let's try to see each other in person. Zooming a mile away doesn't make much sense.
Well, hey, John, thanks so much for being on the show. Hey, guys, if this is your first time watching, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Reach out to John. For you real estate agents, hit up OJO Labs. Movoto is a big player. What's really, we didn't really touch on this, but for all my real estate friends watching this, Movoto is growing their market share, which is fascinating because they are competing against the juggernaut. So props to you guys for that. But be sure to hit these guys up. And again, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
See you later. Thank you.